Hi, welcome to my channel. I love hearing you talk about your hair issues. If we do not talk about hair and hair damage, then how are you going to get better at conditioning? It's important that we acknowledge hair damage. What happens when you're at home and all of a sudden you've noticed that your hair is broke? You thought your product was great, but what happened? You didn't have nowhere to go. We're not used to going to our hairstylist. Lately, I doubted if we have a hairstylist. The average client I talk to no longer really has a constant hairstylist. Now, that's not saying that some don't. It's just, or some do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure people have hairstylists for over years, but the average majority do not have a constant hairstylist. And if they do, they may not have them for long. My point here is that we're not used to running to our hair salons for hair damage. And when we do get the hair damage, it's not really utilized. We get the hair information, we get the hair damage, but the hair information is not really utilized properly. So therefore, we're not used to talking to our stylist. And if the damage is so severe, she may feel that you just have to get over it. It may pass, and whatever's going on will go away. However, you're just there, and you're trying to style, worried about your hair breaking again, and rightfully so. It could break again. So I understand your fears. I understand damaged hair, and I want you to understand it better. If we don't get a better understanding of a damaged hair, then we're going to lose a lot of our hair and be forced to not have a choice. What I would like to do is give you a choice. Understanding scientific conditioning better is always more knowledge, and it's always beneficial to you controlling your damaged hair. Right now, we feel as if we don't recognize our damaged hair, and when we do, we feel as if we can take care of it. You say to yourself, "Oh, I know what I need. I need this. I need that," and then, of course, you still get stuck with the same damage year after year. So what we want to do is take you off that repetitious course and get you back into conditioning. I condition all hair types and all nationalities. So it's not too much I haven't seen for the past over 35 years worth of experience. Um, you know, we just need to understand that when we get damaged, we don't have to be in the dark. We don't have to sit there and just say, what do we do? I'm conditioning, but my hair is really not solving my hair problems. I just condition, and I guess I condition right. So yeah, really, it's not the stylist's fault that not to push the conditioning part of it. Not that they don't. They do have conditioners that they believe in, and those conditioners may not be what you need to take care of your damage, and then you feel as if, oh, she didn't guide me right. And so it's hard to analyze your own damage, and it's hard to get to relay the symptoms or I guess, what's going on with your hair when you're not used to really going back and forth to your stylist every week. And if she tells you, hey, I don't know what's going on, then you really feel like you can't go back. So what happens to these clients? They usually end up in my chair. I don't mind. I really am appreciative to get them back on track and get them back with a healthy head of hair. At least a good understanding of what level of hair wellness is. It's better to have an understanding of what your damage is and how severe it is and what you need to do to pull out of it. And it's another thing to sit at home with your severe damage, watching it get more and more worse. When you have a full of hair already, if you could stop the damage now, then you would still be left with a decent head of hair. However, if you just keep living with damage, though, it's harder and harder to bring you to a hair wellness that you need to be at. Followers have to understand that when you want to get better, you have to understand more. And so just understanding, oh, my hair is dry. No, we need to teach you a lot. Not only why your hair is dry, but how many times is it getting dry and how severe is your dryness. Understanding where your conditioning is taking control of your damaged hair. You know, I talk about products, and I know that there's not much information on the label. And with this, you have to make a very, a very hard decision, because you're looking at your layers of damage, but yet conditioning them has not been successful. So you don't really believe in conditioning. So then where do you go? You say, oh, well, I believe in the product. So I go from product to product to find out if I could luck up on a good product to take care of the damage. And here again, that's a lot of money to spend. And with such little information on the labels, it's hard to make a decision when you know that your problem might be more complex. If you're a diabetic, that will affect your hair. If you're on any type of medication, that will affect your hair. So, and it will affect everybody in different ways. So it's very hard to understand that product does play an important part. But, just picking in the dark, or just going to a product and saying, oh, I'm going to pick this product, and I'm going to, oh, no, this week I'll pick this product. Oh, next time I'll pick this one. The chances of you getting better is very slim, because you're almost like Russian roulette. You're just, off into the dark saying, oh, maybe this product will work. I like it. It smells good. The company's really nice. Okay, but what if you could pick a product knowing that that product had enough moisture to get you to a next level of moisture, So, here again, we need product that's going to work, and we also need knowledge that's going to work with the product. It's not just a one thing. It's not just, oh, I'm going to get this product. One bottle is going to solve my hair problems, and I'm going to be happy and good as long as I follow instructions. And then you realize, no, I did that and I got nowhere. And that's because damaged hair is personal. How you became damaged is different from how someone else becomes damaged. So you need to say to yourself, wait a minute, how did I get into this damage? How deep am I in this damage? And then what I'm going to be persistent about to take care of the damage. No damage comes and goes away easily. It takes you to be consistent and be on a routine to accomplish your goals, your hair goals. And I think that because we've lived with damaged hair for so long, you sort of forget. You think your hair is that way. You even start styling your hair according to the damage. If you're frizzy, and you get your product that hides the frizz. So, here again, we don't want you in a repetitious cycle of just, using product and getting nowhere. If you're using product, you should know what you're looking for. You should understand the progress, and you should see the problem go away. And so it's very important to take your hair to the next level of wellness, but it's just as important for you to understand hair wellness and what it takes to get to the level of hair wellness. And chances of us solving our problems at home without understanding our damage is very slim. We have to understand that you have to have information, scientific conditioning in order to approach your hair damage. Sometimes you can pull out of it just with over the counter, but then sometimes it's gone too far and you can't just pull out of it by using a good product on the market. You need more understanding of your hair damage so that you can accommodate and custom make your conditioning to that, to your needs, to your hair needs. The old conditioning ways are out. They really are old and antiquated. And we have knowledge now that can give us so much more information. So we really need to not think about how we used to do hair. It's how we should do hair today. It's so much information at our disposal, and we don't have to settle for just, we don't have to settle for living with our damage, and we don't have to settle for not understanding our damage. Today, we can not only understand it, but we've got great products to take care of our hair problems. I just need to give you more information, keep giving you hair facts, keep answering your questions so that you can get a lot better at conditioning and start clearing up some of these issues and not just living with them. I want to thank you for sending your emails to DitaHair911. Thank you for being clear and consistent, as well as keeping in touch with me. because just because you've talked to me once doesn't mean, that I've answered all your questions. So what I try to do is answer and grow with you as you grow. So you're welcome to, write back, give me more information. Thank you for letting me know how you're doing and how how your hair is progressing. I really appreciate that. First email question: are relaxers or perms bad for your hair? Um, Nothing is really bad for your hair. Well, I can't say nothing, of course. If you put, bad things on it, it's going to be bad hair. But, a lot of times perms and relaxers were given wrong. They weren't given with enough conditioning support. And then they all felt as if they had to be very, very straight compared to the curliness that they had. So that just got us into a long-term problem as well. And a lot of people with perms, chemical treatments, really suffered. And it was due to not properly supporting the chemical with conditioning. Sometimes perms can enlarge your curl, and that takes the stress off the ends, and the hair is allowed to be as longer um, than it was going to be. In other words, with the curl, if you have real curly hair, it's really hard on your ends. So if you had a perm and you just enlarge the curl, you could still keep your curl. You could still condition during the perm. And of course, you would be able to have less stress on those ends to allow them to grow and not deal with the physical stress. And so the hair ends up becoming longer than it would be if they had tried to just deal with their curl on their own. A lot of curly hair, it's hard for it to get very long in the event that it has too much stress at the top or at the ends from the curl. So if it has a lot of stress, the perm can help you by enlarging that curl and helping you reach, a higher level of conditioning, as well as a better style that is motivated for your hair to be, to stop the natural physical issues and allow the hair to, how can I say it, naturally grow as long as it could be. If it has that physical stress there, it can't grow that long because the physical stress is constantly going to take those ends off. So it's hard to get your hair down past the broad strap if you're not working with that, if you're just trying to work with the curl naturally. So perms can help. In this case, it would help. However, it has to have the conditioning support system. So perms can be used safely if they're able to condition. Now, that's the thing, since you brought that up, it reminds me, the silk press or the chemicals that are applied to your hair, and they're not a relaxer. They are, some of them are formaldehyde. And so what they don't want is a lot of moisture because it will take away the effects of the straightness. So they tell you, you don't want to be heat capping with that perm unless you're ready to get rid of it. Your perms can be an issue. They can be a problem. They can be misunderstood. And if you're not properly supporting the perms or chemical treatments with conditioning, you're bound to fail. So I wouldn't label perms and relaxers the problem. I would definitely put the person at fault for not understanding how to condition properly. It's not your fault that you don't know how to condition. So that's something that's not really taught. So even our families don't even carry that very much, do they? About conditioning. They condition with cold product and that's it. Mm. Rub in some conditioner and go. However, things get more intense and a lot of other side effects come into it. And then the perms have to be a little bit more smart. You have to understand how to give a perm with and without conditioning. So perms can be a villain only if the tech lets it be. So you don't have to be that way. The second email question. She wears her hair out in the cold. She takes a shower, I guess, and then her hair is wet. For whatever reason, the hair is wet, and she goes outside in the cold. And she wants to know, is this going to break your hair? Well, first of all, I read where hot showers are not good for your hair. So don't run your hair in the hot shower. And then when you apply your conditioner, make sure the conditioner is with the dry damp and then again dry. That might help you not feel like your hair is getting more drier by taking the wet hair outside. So I would suggest if you have to go out wet, make sure you get it to a dry damp and not a wet. And then, of course, have your conditioners present so that you can at least have some conditioning on there to condition the cold. That is kind of hard on the hair to just be cold, but it's not going to kill it. Hair is a dead appendage, so I don't think you're going to, it's whether or not you catch cold, that's on you. But as far as your hair, it shouldn't hurt it, like make it break. Like you go out in the cold and your hair is wet. So let's try to have the hair a damp wet, not a wet wet. And then, of course, apply your conditioners. And if you're applying it conditioner when it's wet, and then, of course, when it's dry damp, you should be fine for going out in the cold. A third email question. I swim 3 times a week. My hair is very dry. Yeah, she also mentioned that she shampoos. So, one, you're shampooing too often. I can send you an email on swimmers and what to do with your hair, for your hair while you're at the pool and after you leave the pool. So I think it's important that you start getting into a deep conditioner, at least a minimum of once a month. And then, of course, brush. I want to see you brush your hair, not after swim, but maybe prior. If you know you're going swimming 2 days before, then do your brushing. Of course, you don't want to brush wet hair, but you do want to come out and you do want to rinse your hair. You don't have to shampoo it. You can rub some conditioner in it. That will be enough to rinse your hair, put a little conditioner in it, or you can put a little conditioner in it, let it set for a few seconds, rinse it. All right, if you prefer to rinse it first and then put the conditioner in there and rinse it, that's fine too. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you stop shampooing so much. Between the chlorine and you not putting back your moisture with a deep conditioner, then you're not putting back your moisture when you're after you swim. Doesn't sound like you're doing much conditioning afterwards. So putting your hair in a dry damp after swim and then applying your conditioner first with wet hair, then dry damp, apply it again. That should be enough to protect you from the dirty water as well as the chlorine in the pool. And you won't see your hair get so dry. I would like you to start deep conditioning once a month with moisture and protein. The reason is because, the chlorine is hard on your hair and it does take away from your hair. You're supposed to remember to deep clean, shampoo with 2 times within 10 days. So you don't want to shampoo too often. Minimum, twice every 7 days shampooing. So you're going to apply your conditioner after you get out of the pool. And then, of course, you can rinse and then apply some more conditioner if you like, and then go home and style as normal. And then you're going to do that deep heat conditioning once a month. I call it deep conditioning, heat cap conditioning. So apply your conditioner. Remember to check your heat cap, making sure you have enough product underneath there. I've posted about heat capping instructions in my previous post. And you can always go to my Facebook, Deta Damaged Hair, DETA. And then, of course, damaged hair is one name, is one letter. All together, damaged hair. So if you go there, you can catch up with my post about deep conditioning. So yes, shampooing, encourage you to, swimming and shampooing. I want to encourage you to brush. You need to brush often because that helps the natural oils come out and protect your hair. So get into your scientific brushing, which is brushing daily with 2 brushes. I also talked about that on my previous post. I don't know if I Facebooked it though. Maybe I'll do that, post it on Facebook for you. Fourth email. Why be caution over vitamins? Vitamins are very serious. and they can cause lots of issues. So I would always have a doctor look over my vitamin care and make sure it's not interfering with any other medication. Make sure it's a healthy amount that you're taking. If you want to talk to a nutritionist, she's really good for that too. I would always have a professional guide you, because getting your doctor involved, he can do a blood test and it will show you exactly where your vitamins are. And he would be more than happy to help you with that. So go with your doctor to get a final opinion after you have done your reading, your research, and after you've made some decisions on your vitamins. And then, go ahead and say to yourself, listen, I'm going to get this, looked at by my doctor to make sure it's appropriate for you. Vitamins can get you in a lot of trouble. So we don't want to take too much. We don't want to take too little. I personally had an issue with that. I went to the doctor. I was taking vitamin D3, and I was taking 250 milligrams, thinking that, I didn't want to take too many or be toxic, so I just took a little. The doctor said I was so low, he put me on 2,000 milligrams a day until he tested me again to see if it's raised, and then, of course, he would take me off of it. So see how important vitamins are and how important it is to get your doctor's opinion. I love Hair Facts, and Hair Facts is help you put information in your hair folder so that you can get a better understanding of how to care for your hair or what to do with your hair. And so you want to, think about you've gotten into the routine. If you've been following me and you're really trying to change your ways, I'm sure you're trying to go to the next level of wellness. And I want to just talk to you a minute about, yes, you're doing a great job. You've got your heat capping down on a regular base. You see results. You've changed, and now you're encouraged to just keep changing because you see your hair getting better. You see your length getting better, your growth rate getting better. So this is all encouraging. However, every client I have worked with, let's say majority, they get depressed. You start your program, you're diligent, and then all of a sudden you want to go back to the old habits. You start trying to make old decisions with old information, and then the next thing you know, you're back in trouble again with your hair damage. Or you haven't kept to your routine, so you haven't seen your full potential or your full hair growth because you stopped. And so a lot of times clients get very concerned about that, because what happens is that their spouse will talk to them, or their sisters and brothers will talk to them about, mainly your sisters, right? Mom, cousin, they get to talking about their hair products, and they're very enthused about their products because right now their products are working for them. So they feel like, oh, well, what are you doing? And they start changing you, and you start getting around the old habits and start failing again. Next thing you know, you're off of your hair goals, you're out of your routine, and you're just not as diligent as you were. And then you're just in limbo. I think I've talked to people and gotten their hair together, and of course, next time I talk to them, they're back in damage again. And they tell me, oh, Dita, help me out of trouble again. Of course I will. Anytime you're in trouble, that's what I'm here for. However, I would like, you to stay more consistent. And of course, to be more patient. A lot of times we let other opinions sway us, or just how we want to look compared to how others look. Everybody wants the long eyelashes now and the fake nails, and everybody wants the big booty, right? It's in. But my point to you is that, you don't want to be conditioned in the dark. You don't want to be, the same place with your damage as you were before. And maybe you have reached a level of hair wellness, but you haven't completed your hair wellness journey. And so try to, know that it's a journey, and know that your final goal is to get rid of your hair problems and stay gone, because of your habits are there to stay. Your healthier habits, hair habits are there to stay. So you're going to do better at conditioning, and you're going to be better first year, you're going to be better. The second year, you're going to be even better. So a lot of times, though, we don't get to the second and third year because of our lack of focusing or our lack of determination to finish our goals. So it's easy to get off track. It always happens when you're trying to change your hair for better and trying to change your ways for the better. So scientific conditioning does take time. It takes time. It takes a routine. And if you could get into that routine and you feel yourself getting depressed, sometimes you even just feel like I'm not progressing fast enough. I still have this hole here, and I don't, I still have to style my hair funny. And so I don't feel that I'm changing anything. I feel stagnant. So these are all normal emotions that you go through during this time of healing and during this time of learning. So, stay strong. Don't give up the fight, and understand that you're going to do something different. You're going to go outside the box, and you're going to think different about how you approach conditioning. Scientific conditioning can help you if only you stay consistent and stay determined to stay strong and stay focused and stay on your hair goals. Hopefully you can come to, where even your third year of changing your hair wellness is better than the first year. The hair is better. The wellness is better. Maybe you haven't reached the length that you want, but you can tell your hair is healthier. Sometimes it's not always about length. It's about wellness. So, giving people a way to change is what I really wanted to do and how I wanted to help. And so I hope this channel has helped you in some way. Please push the like button. Subscribe is free. Leave a comment so we let YouTube know that hair does have a voice. We want to change our hair ways. We don't want to sit at home and be should we say stagnant in our damage, repetitious in our damage? Maybe that's a good way of saying it. But remember, I love you and I want to take care of your hair problems, and I really appreciate you for wanting to change as well. Let's think outside the box. Conditioning has taken on a new concept, and we need to go there so that we can save our hair from chronic damage. I want to thank you again for coming. I want to thank you again for sharing your hair problems. Now go have a good hair day. Thank you.